it is time for another one of my film reviews, and today I am going to be reviewing the film Colossal with Anne Hathaway. And this is actually quite a good film. It's a little bit different to anything else that's out there. It's kind of like a science fiction film, but it's never really fully explained. So basically Gloria, played by Anne Hathaway, has to move back to her old town where she grew up because she gets kicked out of her flat in New York by her boyfriend. That happens right at the very beginning of the film. And then some weird things start happening in South Korea, and you're thinking, how is like a small town in America connected to South Korea? And you've got there's Munster in South Korea and Anne Hathaway in New York. It kind of vaguely explains it, but it never really fully explains it. You just kind of have to accept it. Okay, this is how it is, basically. And the first half of the film is kind of like, it's like a light-hearted comedy almost, and it's quite an easy watch and everything's going lovely, and then it kind of brings itself to like a natural conclusion, and it's like, okay, and I was thinking, well, I'm only halfway through the film now, it feels like the film should have ended. But then it doesn't end, and the reason it doesn't end is because the film kind of takes a bit of a twist, because one of the characters called Oscar, played by, I can't read this, hang on, I've got my laptop here. Jason Sudeikis? I don't know how that's pronounced. Anyway, he's been in some other things. I recognise his face. His character does a complete 180, basically. He starts off as this nice, helpful guy that she used to know when growing up. And then he turns into a dick. He's quite controlling, and he's pretty nasty work, actually, to be honest. Bit of a spoiler there. And then they have a bit of a flashback to their childhood, and it turns out he's always been a dick. And it's just like, okay, the film really... I didn't really enjoy the second half as much as the first half. I think he's supposed to make... You're not supposed to like him, basically. You're supposed to find him uncomfortable, and then she basically has to find a way to defeat him because he's controlling her and manipulating her, and he's not a very nice piece of work. But it's such a change. It's like the first half of the film, the second half of the film almost feel like two completely different films. And the first half, it's just this light-hearted comedy, sci-fi thing, which is never fully explained. The second film is basically about this really nasty piece of work out of nowhere, controlling Anne Hathaway's character, Gloria, and she's having a miserable time with it, and they get into fights, and it's not really very nice. So the tone of the film is completely different. It's almost like it's got bipolar or split personality or something, the way it just changes halfway through, because you could actually, in all honesty, the first half of the film, watch that as a complete film. It would only be a short film. Again, it doesn't really fully explain how these things are happening, but even the full version doesn't fully explain it or what's going on. But it is almost like two films stuck together. It feels like it's made by two completely different people, and the way his character just does such a 180, it's like, I don't know, I mean, maybe some people are like that. They come across nice at first, and then they get a taste of power, and then they just turn into monsters, which I suppose does happen in real life. And maybe the fact that there are monsters and big robots in South Korea, and maybe some people are like that, I don't know. But it has a conclusion which is kind of satisfactory. And I did find one a bit silly, because eventually you do see in South Korea properly where the monsters keep appearing, and you're thinking, why are all these people still here? Oh, surely they should have evacuated a long time ago, because it keeps appearing at the same time every day. And yeah, and this sounds a little bit confusing. If you're watching this and thinking, what is going on? How does a small town in America got anything to do with monsters in South Korea? And you have to watch it to find out. It does sort of make sense. It is sort of connected, but only sort of. So yeah, overall I think it is an enjoyable film. The first half is definitely far superior to the second half. Anne Hathaway does a good job. Her character stays pretty much constant throughout the whole thing, and she does an excellent job in it. You can't fault her in any way. And to be honest, I think the only other thing I've seen her in is Les Miserables, and in this I think she's far better, because she's a much more likeable and funny person in this. Although I love that film, Les Miserables, I think in this one you see a much light-hearted, funnier, real version of her, apart from the fact she's not singing. But I don't know, it's just it just feels almost schizophrenic, maybe. Just the two halves of the film, they don't feel joined up to me. That's my own personal opinion. As I said earlier, once it got to it, it came to like a natural conclusion, and I was thinking, well, okay, that's where the film ends. And then it's just like, but it hasn't ended. I'm only halfway through. I'd recommend you watch it. I'm just looking at the Amazon UK page at the moment. It says you can rent the movie for $4.99 HD, buy it HD $13.99. I probably would recommend renting it. I'm not sure you'd want to buy it. I don't know if I'd want to watch it a second time or a third time. I'm not sure if it's the sort of film you can watch over and over. As you may have seen, I've recently made a video about films I could watch over and over. But so I keep looking down at my laptop. So look, I've got my laptop here. There you go. Go find it, rent it, watch it, download it, whatever. However people watch films these days. And cool. And I've got some more film reviews coming up of films that I found which look slightly interesting. So subscribe and click the bell icon so you can know when they come out. Also, I've got a Firewalk challenge at the end of the month, so I really need some sponsorship for that. That's for disability challenges. They work with disabled children. And also another karate video coming out at 1 month's time. So cool. If you like this, a thumbs up would be brilliant. Subscribe, blah blah blah, and I will see you later. Bye.